Hello and welcome to Motors for the Masses, and today we've got a bit of a scramblery adventure-y head-to-head with the CF Moto 700 CLX Adventure and the Moto Morini SCR Seiemmezzo 6.5 650 thing. So let's roll the intro and get cracking. Now, despite these bikes being very similar in design, they are also similar in other ways, but also very different in other ways. Now, the biggest similarity is the engine. They both use the Kawasaki ER6 based 650 style engine. However, there is a big difference, and that is that this one uses a 649cc engine. This one is bored out to 693cc engine. Now at this stage, I do want to refer you to my individual reviews on these bikes. If you look up in this corner here, and the link in the description down there, you will see the link for this bike, and then over here, with the link in the description, you'll see the link for this bike. So please go and check out the full reviews on these. However, let's talk more about the facts and the similarities and differences between the two, and then we're going to get out on the road and see what the difference is getting from one to the other on how they ride. The Moto Morini Seiemmezzo 6.5 has a 649cc engine developing 60 brake horsepower and 40 pounds-foot of torque. The CF Moto Adventure has a 693cc engine developing 69 brake horsepower and 45 pounds-foot of torque, which means top speed on the Moto Morini is about 105 miles per hour and top speed on the CF Moto is about 120 miles per hour. The Moto Morini uses KYB 43mm front forks. The CF Moto uses KYB 41mm forks. The Moto Morini uses Brembo brakes with ABS, two 300mm front discs and one 255mm rear disc. The CF Moto uses J1 ABS brakes, J1 being part of the Brembo group, that has one 320mm front disc and one 260mm rear disc. The CF Moto uses a 17-inch rear wheel with a 170 back tyre and an 18-inch front wheel with a 110 front tyre. The Moto Morini uses a 17-inch rear wheel with a 160 back tyre and an 18-inch front wheel with a 120 front tyre. The CF Moto uses Pirelli Scorpion STR tyres and the Moto Morini uses Pirelli MT60 RS tyres. The CF Moto has a 13-litre fuel tank, and the Moto Morini has a 16-litre fuel tank. The CF Moto weighs in at just 204 kilos wet. The Moto Morini weighs in at 210 kilos wet. Bearing in mind, as per usual, I am 5'10.5" with a 31.5-inch inside leg. The CF Moto has an 830mm seat height, flat-footed, not really a bend in my knee, but comfortable. The Moto Morini has a 810mm seat height, and you can feel the difference. That 20mm means I've got a slight bend in my knee. The handlebars are about the same, but I feel as though I'm more seated into the bike. Not that I'm on it in that, but slightly more into the bike on this than I am on that. However, comfortable, same width, pretty much 890-ish on the width of the handlebars. They feel very similar, to be honest. Yeah, definitely feels slightly taller in the seat in comparison to the handlebars on the CF Moto. But other than that, not a massive difference. Price-wise, Moto Morini, £7,299 on the road with a 3-year parts and labour warranty. CF Moto, £7,749 on the road with a 4-year parts and labour warranty. So on paper, they're pretty similar. There's not a huge difference between them. Bit more in power on this one than there is on this one, but this one has features that I like better than that. However, let's get them both out on the road and see how they ride back to back, so I can get a good comparison between the two, see which one I prefer in the end, and see which one rides better, what the features are, and how they're all made and how they feel when I'm riding it. But before we do that, I'm going to put up all the specs I've just said in a little list either side. So here they are here. Enjoy. I'll play some music at this point. No, I'm not singing.
So then, here we go on the test ride. Now, this bike has done all of 0 miles. Literally uncrated it, and this is its maiden voyage. So what I don't want to do is thrash it. So I'm going to do some miles. I will do a pull away once I've done a few miles. But at the moment, just going to cruise. And the reason why I'm on the Moto Morini first, which is what this is, the Moto Morini Seiemmezzo 650 SCR. So the reason why I'm doing this first is because technically the CF Moto should feel quicker, because it's got 9 more horsepower, 40 something, 44, 45 cc's, and some more torque. 5 more torques. So technically that should feel quicker. However, I do like this scrambler and I want to ride this first, and I have recently ridden the CF Moto and I haven't ridden this for a while. So several reasons. 1, I want to ride it again. 2, I want to ride it first because the CF Moto should be quicker. And 3, I've got the keys first. So here we go. Well, sounds nice, smooth. I love the feel of this. I love the way you're sitting in the bike, and the handlebars are just the right width apart. I mean, even though I'm not thrashing it at all, but it's decent pickup, very smooth, excellent gear change, lovely bike to ride, nice clear view of the dash. Now done 1 mile, or nearly 0.9. Visibility out of the mirrors is absolutely spot on, 100% visibility, great distance, great mirror positioning. The options are limited on this, so what I mean by that is you don't have different riding modes, it just goes, but it seems to do it quite well. You can link your phone to the dash if you want to. The options are easy to get through, so set goes in there, bike info, connect, display and system. So let's see what other displays we've got. So the STR or the SCR view. STR, back. Oh, there you go. Not a massive difference, slightly different colour and slightly different positioning. Great positive gear change. Nicely done. Love the way it dips into the corners very positively. Again, brand new tyres, never been on the road, so I've got to be careful on cornering as well. Very simple bike to ride. I really do like the feel of it, the positioning on the road, the confidence that you can ride really slowly, and it feels light enough. It is heavier than the 700 by a few kilos, but it just feels weightless. Well, maybe not weightless, that's probably a silly thing to say, but it does feel light. Traffic. So here we are on the CF Moto. Now, differences. currently in street mode. It does pick up a little bit quicker, obviously, it would do. Sounds a little bit different as well. Mirrors are not as long on the stalk, so I haven't got as good visibility on this than I have on the the Moto Morini. So the Moto Morini has slightly better visibility. I am sitting more on the seat. I'm not sitting on the seat, but, well, I am, but what I mean is I'm not sitting perched on the seat. I'm sitting more on the seat than I am than the Moto Morini, which is more in the seat. The handlebars are equally as comfortable, not quite as tall as the Moto Morini. I've got as equally as fantastic gear change, slightly lighter clutch. Other than that, I feel like I'm pretty much on the same bike. I'm not, obviously, and there are differences. Obviously, this one you've got the off-road mode and the street mode. Off-road mode also turns the ABS off, so if you do want to take it off-road and have some serious fun, you can. You've also got cruise control on this that you haven't got on the Moto Morini, which I understand on certain bikes, but I don't know why you'd want cruise control on an adventure bike. But it's a nice feature to have for free. I mean, this is a little bit of advantage also over the Moto Morini, as it's done 38.5 miles already. Again, still not really running, so I've still got to take it easy. Off-road mode, like I did in my previous video on this, you've got a lot more torque lower end, and then in street mode it comes in at about 6,000 RPM. Don't get me wrong, in street mode it's not slow until 6,000 RPM, but you do have a bit more oomph, shall we say, once you get to 6,000. I'm going to follow the same route, so I'm going to be doing the same route on this than I am the other one, for two reasons. One, it makes it very equal, and two, I can splice the videos together. So obviously sitting at 40 miles an hour in 6th gear feels quite quiet, quite serene. I shall do the 30 miles an hour 6th gear test in a little while, like I did with the other one as well. Probably going to have the same amount of traffic and all. Nice light gear change again, but positive. You know it's going in gear. It's not like, oh, is it in gear? Is it? Yes, it is, but it's still quite light. As equal balance. The indicators are different on this. They're touch indicators, so you literally touch it and it's on, touch it and it's off. Whereas you've got the positive clunk. And I'll be honest, personally, I prefer a positive clunk. I don't know about you. I'm always sort of double checking that it's off with the electric ones. Like, is it off? I say electric, like the push solenoid style ones. It's like, is it off? Is it? It is. It always is. But it always makes me check. See, at this slow speed, like I'm doing 3 miles an hour, and the balance is superb. I'm not worried about putting my foot down. Not worried about it stalling or tipping over. Really nice. Such a simple bike to ride. The throttle isn't jerky in any way. Really light clutch. Ooh, red light. I haven't felt as though I want to put my foot down once yet. Unless I stop at the traffic lights. And even then, if I concentrate, I can probably do it without. It just feels so well balanced. This one's slightly cheaper than the CF Moto. Really good positive switches as well. Simple to use, easy to reach, nice comfortable handlebars. Servicing wise, they're pretty much on par with each other. That first one's a bit early, 600 miles, same as the CF Moto, and then it's 3,000 after that, same as the CF Moto. Take it through the country roads, see how it performs. Sorry mate, I'm coming past you. The seat, I would say, is a bit more comfortable on this one than the Moto Morini. Again, no buzz through the handlebars or foot pegs. The dash is easy to see. It's not the same. It's obviously not a LCD colour screen. Lights are red again, but so I can just nip down here quite nicely. Thank you very much. Coming in here. Suspension wise feels very, very similar. I mean, the reason for that, I would say, is because they're both KYB suspension. This one, 41mm forks, 43mm forks on the Moto Morini. Doesn't make a massive difference, but you've got great sponginess. Very good brakes. The J1 brakes are pretty much as good as the Brembo brakes. Not quite as sharp. It more hunkers you than it does slams you on. But J1 being part of the Brembo group, so they're not going to be rubbish, that's for sure. And they're not. They're good brakes. So I'm just going to whip it into off-road mode. And you can feel, it doesn't hold back as such, but it's not as ready to go. So you can feel like a semitone difference, as Basil would say. To say I'm on new tyres, so I'm going to take it easy. I'm not going to go thundering round corners. Semi-off-road tyres, but even with that, no evidence of any slippage, nothing at all. Very confidence inspiring, this bike. Lovely to ride. Fourth gear around that corner there very easily. Quite blustery today, but nicely planted on the road here. You feel there's not a massive difference in pull away and acceleration. There is a difference, it is quicker, but it's not huge. The scrambler still does it really, really well. So the scrambler, the Moto Morini still does it really, really well. So in comparison, there's not a massive difference. But there is a bit of difference. Again, positive into the corners. Yeah, I mean, it feels pretty much on par, to be honest, power-wise. To say a little bit better, and you would expect that. I'm going to put it into street mode, if you want to call it sport mode, and see if that makes a difference on the accelerator. Again, I'm still running this in, so it's only done 30 odd miles. I mean, in street mode, it is a different beast. It is definitely quicker in street mode. Definitely. So the pickup and the gear change is delightful. When the sun hits the dash, you've got a little bit of a blind spot of can't really see it. So I would say, actually, off-road mode puts it like a 650. That's probably the best way to describe it. Off-road mode on this puts it at the same level as the 650 Moto Morini Scrambler. However, street mode puts it in the same league as the 700 CLX Sport, the sporty cafe racer, modern cafe racer style bike. So if you want to open it up, street mode is the way to go. If you want a serene country bimble, then adventure mode is the way to go, and then it's just the same as riding the Moto Morini. I think that's the best way to compare these. The Moto Morini is the off-road version of this. And, we'll get in a sunny spot and have a look again. I mean, you've got a bit of shade from that screen on there, but that's not too bad. But obviously when the sun's directly on it, like anything, you get a little bit of blindness. Rides beautifully low. Very comfortable. Lumps and bumps taken quite easily. And again, the suspension hasn't even settled in yet. Brakes haven't settled in yet. And from the off, it just feels so nice to ride. I mean, even in street mode you can still ride it well. It's not snatchy in any way. It's not like not like that at all. But if you want to give it some, it will do it. So let's see what it's like. I'm going to sit at 30 miles an hour in 6th gear, 2000 RPM. Doesn't feel chuggy. A little bit if you open it up. So, but again, it's not. It still feels as though it will pick up quite well without it rattling you to bits. Probably better sitting in 5th round here, but it's just nice, very nice indeed. Lovely bike this is. See, 25 mile an hour in 5th and still pull away quite happily. So again, 6th gear, 30 miles an hour. Oh, this is definitely more of a chugger. Oh, try the off-road mode, 30 mile an hour, 6th gear. Yeah, it is more of a chugger than the Moto Morini. So the Moto Morini gearing, I think, is different, which is what makes it not as quick on the uptake. The gearing is different on this, so if you want to go fast, drop it down a gear. So this would be like it is in 5th, where the Moto Morini would be in 6th, same sort of thing. Yeah, and in 4th there, pulls away nicely. Yeah, 5th pulls away the same as the Moto Morini does in 6th. Now this is a demo bike that I'm on, this matte black version. You are very welcome to come down and try it out. Do the same test for yourself. Take this Seiemmezzo 650 out and the CF Moto 700 Adventure. Compare the two. Highly recommended. Great for plodding around the countryside. Great for sitting at 70 if you want to on the dual carriageway. If you want to go beyond, that's up to you. It will do it, but obviously it's not recommended because that would be illegal. But there you go, look, pulling away really nicely. Brakes really well as well. Great for overtaking if you needed to. Because nobody wants to sit at 25 miles an hour on a back road. I mean, how else can I compare these two? The seat is definitely more comfortable on this, a bit more forgiving. Even though you're perched slightly more than you would be on the Moto Morini, it's a bit more comfortable put it back in street mode for when we go down the dual carriageway. Actually no, that would be an unfair test, so I'm going to put it in off-road mode to pull onto the dual carriageway up to 70, then I'm going to slow right down as long as there's no traffic behind me, and do the same in street mode. I'm trying to make it as fair a comparison as possible. What's going to be difficult is to know what to choose as my favourite at the end. To say I am being a bit ginger on the tighter, bumpier corners because the tyres are not even scrubbed in yet. Let's take it up to speed, let it sit at dual carriageway speeds briefly because it's running in, takes the corners very well. Changed in gear before 6,000 RPM. Very nice. And as I say, you've got a bit of bump. This is a very bumpy bit of dual carriageway because it's the old concrete. It's not slow. Just going to pull in again, let this car go past. It's not slow at all. And it is a little bit quicker, which you would expect, than the Moto Morini. So we're in street mode. I mean, I am changing gear later than I was in the Moto Morini, so if I do it in street mode, down into say third gear, and I change gear at 6,000. So if I change gear at 6,000 RPM like I was in the Moto Morini, there's no difference. They both pull the same. However, this does have a better exhaust note at 70 miles an hour because it has a better exhaust. It's quite simple, really. And the other thing is the power comes in at 6,000 RPM here. The power is pretty much the same throughout on the Moto Morini. It's still good, don't get me wrong. But then if you're in street mode, the power comes in much more at 6,000 RPM. So if you want to fly and give it some, then this bike in street mode is much better. However, if you want an adventure bike that you plod around the country lanes, they're pretty much on par. There's not a lot to choose between them. So it's a bumpy bit of dual carriageway on suspension that hasn't settled in, and it took it really nicely. I really do like the ride of this bike. And the style it is, it doesn't really encourage you to go stupid speeds anyway. It's just a country scramblery type plodder, and it does it so well. Straight out of the box, such a simple bike to ride, and it's only going to get better once the suspension's settled in and the brakes have settled in and the engine's run in. Obviously we did a review on this quite a while ago now, and I'll be honest, I haven't heard a single bad thing. CF Moto engine, Italian heritage, good warranty, very nice. Good engine braking, good balance. Lovely. Got tyre pressure monitors on this, so I did make sure the tyre pressures were as they should be. So you look, sun on the dash there, can't see anything. That's the only thing I would say. Over the Moto Morini, this one does have cruise control if you do want to sit at 70. And it does have the option of turning that ABS off and off-road mode if you do want to have a bit of fun off-road or do a bit of green laning. Other than that, it's so hard to choose between them. What you're basically getting is for £500 more or £450 more, with this you're getting cruise control and a bit more speed if you want it, if you open it up. If that doesn't bother you, the Moto Morini does the job superbly. Oh, and I would say the seat is slightly more comfortable on the CF Moto than it is on the Moto Morini. Same comfort on the handlebars and the foot pegs. As I said before, no buzz, no sort of negative feedback in any way. Oh, and the mirrors are better on the Moto Morini. Other than that, they're pretty similar. So really, it's over to you. As I said before, I urge you to come and try both these. I will add quickly, off-road mode, much better if you're just sitting at 30-40 mile an hour. Bit more serene. Nice sort of pokey pickup. What you want for a scrambler type bike. Nice. Such a nice balanced bike to ride. So I don't get any vibrations or buzzes from anything, nothing from the foot pegs, nothing from the handlebars, nothing on the seat. The seat's very comfortable. I could see myself doing quite a lot of miles on this without getting saddle sore. So no buzzing, nothing doesn't, can't have a double negative, nothing feels bad at all, nothing feels unpleasant. It's just so good to ride. Fantastic brakes. Right then, here we go with the 700 Adventure. I mean, one big difference, obviously you've got a fly-by-wire throttle on this, whereas you haven't. You've got a traditional push-me-pull-you style on the Moto Morini. Fly-by-wire can be a tad more snatchy, which you don't get any snatch on the Moto Morini. Well, it depends how cool you are, I guess. Well, you can feel that the second you open it up, it just wants to go, come on then! So yeah, this one can be a bit more fun. Again, not that the Moto Morini isn't fun, and I know this sounds very much like I'm fence sitting, and I'm sorry for that, but there isn't a lot to choose between them. It's whether you want to spend an extra £500 to get cruise control, the ability to go off-road without ABS, and a bit more oomph after 6,000 RPM. So there you go. As I said, over to you. Come down, try them both out. Let me know what you think. Perhaps you've got either of these. Perhaps you've done this test. The CLX 700 or 700 CLX Adventure. against the Moto Morini 650 Scrambler. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Which one would you prefer? If you do want to arrange a test ride, please pop along to Lightning Storm Motorcycles and send us a message on Facebook, or send us an email, or give us a call and come and arrange a test ride, and we'll gladly take you out on them both and see what you think. Oh look, the Rosa's setting up for a drag race. Oh hello. Now technically that Rosa made an illegal move, because technically you don't have to move out of the way if it means making an illegal move, as in going through a red light. So technically that Rosa made an illegal move, went through a red light to pull over to allow the other one to go through. It's that old thing of the lesser of two evils. Which one would you do? Personally, I'd do what he did and pull out of the way, because the other guy's obviously in an emergency, not doing any harm, and technically, I've said technically a lot, we should let the emergency services get on and do their job. Both these bikes feel as light as each other, as simple to move as each other, and as nice to ride as each other. And there is the Moto Morini, looking very nice. See, decent brake still. So then, the Moto Morini Seiemmezzo 6.5 or 650, or the CF Moto 700 CLX Adventure. Which one would I choose? This one's got a slight bit of a belly pan, whereas that one doesn't. I could do with a belly pan. This one's got a better exhaust. I prefer the look of I would go for the CF Moto Seiemmezzo. How about that for fence sitting? I can't make a decision. Let me know in the comment section below, and that leads me to the end of this video. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back next time with something else, so stay tuned. And until next time, enjoy the sun, and please ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye bye.